0, 1.
Okay, so before all you guys out there tell me, hey, use a table saw for that, I don't have one. I don't have access to one. So I just did what anybody would do, is I just tilted the deck on the old skill saw. And got her close. Right. Oops. Alright, not too bad, not too shabby, right? So anyhow, since they didn't sell this in 6-inch wide sections, my next plan of attack is I'm going to glue these together, and then I'm going to make a metal bracket to tie them together, and then that will match the existing shit that's on the front of the camper. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've got this thing all prepped up and ready to go. I removed the 10 million staples that were in this thing. And so basically now what I need to do is I need to start fixing the front of this thing. I made a piece here. I'm not sure if I videoed it or not. If I did, I can edit it out. Anyhow, I got this piece done, so the next thing I need to do is make this piece right here, this D-shaped looking deal. Because I can't fix this board until I get that done. So usually I'd use cardboard, but since I have all this material laying around, I made one out of this simple thin plywood, and something like that, or like that, depending on which way I want to do this. It's just a rough template, because I got to cut it out of a 2x4, because this is a 1.5 inch wide, and well, 2x4s aren't 2x4s anymore. So as you can see, I just marked it out. Now let's take the jigsaw and cut this thing out, and we'll stick it up there. It's not going to be the right size, but I'll sand it down to the correct size that I need it to be. So let's cut this thing out and see how I can make this thing look. I got one piece made up, and so I gotta make this one there and that one there. So basically I just bevel cut the back side of that so that it would fit in there like it's supposed to, but not too bad. Lines up pretty fucking well. And then once I get all these mocked up, then I'm gonna make some tabs that I can screw these together, because that staple shit, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. Anyhow, should work out a-okay. Okay, so I got these pieces made. I got that piece made. I got it stapled in. I made this piece and got it stapled in. I made a metal bracket here to hold this piece in, where I scabbed this new wood in right here, and then I've got this piece all made up. Now I'm gonna make another piece. I'm gonna have another piece of metal for here that I'm just gonna make out of this super thin aluminum. That way it doesn't poke out. So we'll do something like that. Something like that. Obviously I'm gonna cut the holes off, so you can disregard this right here. That's nothing. I'm gonna drill 2 small holes there. Hell, I might staple this on there if I can get away with it, but at least that'll give this some strength, and that'll tie this in so it's not so flimsy. Should be golden. I changed my other mind. So what I ended up doing was, I had some of this 2x2 laying around, so I just put that behind here and tied it into my section here, and then I screwed this board into that, and this is super strong. I mean, This is stronger than it was when it was stapled together. Oh shit. Anyhow, this is way strong. It's way stronger than it was with the staples originally from the factory. And yeah, I have full confidence that that is absolutely legit. Should be golden. All right, another day and working on the camper. So I got everything pretty much prepped and ready to go. So first thing I got to do is I got to replace the insulation that went up into this one. There it is there, and it's really hard to get to, and that wood did not want to come off. So I broke the insulation getting it out, and this piece of wood does not want to come off, and it's not worth the effort when I have a bunch of this. I have a bunch of this laying around, so, well, not a bunch, but enough to fix the ones that were screwed up on here. So basically, I just, as you can see, it's I just cut it out and stuffed it up in there, and actually probably better than the shit that's up in here. So anyhow, I got that ready to roll, and then I got this sheet all ready to go up in there. So we'll try and get this thing tucked up in there and see how it looks before I get going. That'll be the hard one, because this one I'm going to start in here. I'm going to go halfway across this board here. That way I can overlap. I can staple this side, and then I can start the other board here and hopefully go to either here or here, and then do my third one and have room to staple them together. That's the plan. All right, so preliminary, I've got this panel all ready to go in, and I made this piece to go inside the drawer, inside that drawer. Did do some shims here just so it's nice and level, and so I think what I'll do is get the air compressor fired up, and we'll start stapling our lives away here, and get this stapled in. We'll get this installed, and then we can start. I think what I'm going to do is I'll get this in, put the insulation in, and then maybe I'll make a top sheet and then work my way across, so that way I can do everything from down here on the top. We'll see. That's tentative, of course. Got this all installed. Got this panel all put in. It's pretty good. Making some progress finally. So I think I'm going to stick with my plan I said before and do the sheet up here next, and then do lower and then upper, whatnot. I think I'll do that upper one next just to get it out of the way. But anyhow, at least we're heading in the right direction now. Looks pretty good. Alright, so we're headed inside. So I got this piece right back there. It's all notched out and ready to roll. So I put this spare piece that won't fit. It's a 4x3, and this is 60 inches wide. And so this piece won't work for anything, so I'm using it as a shim, and also to add strength to this. So I'm going to have the sheet on the bottom, and then this, and then that sheet there is going to go on the top and slide up in here, and that should be super strong. That way it won't be all screwed up and dumb and all that. So should be just fantastic. I've already measured it out, so it's gonna sit. That's gonna sit right on there. Should fit just fine and dandy. So got the bed area done. And this has got 2 layers on it. There's a layer underneath of this. So it's like, it's super fucking rigid. Turned out pretty nice. I also got the underneath done too. And it turned out pretty nice as well. Another day on the camper. So today's project is to get this resheeted, similar to this. So I got all this rotten shit out of here. So this is the project today. Hopefully this goes pretty straightforward. Got a plan in place on how I'm going to do this. So I just got to get a piece up there. I'm going to staple it up there and then cut it out and then bring it down, glue it, and we'll get her put in place. Alright, so I got my piece cut out here. So on the side here, this is a lot thinner than this is. Which is all this really does is just keep this nice and flat. So this is actually, this does quarter, because it actually supports the bed and the occupants of the camper. This stuff here is actually 2.7. I mean, it matches up perfect. Let me, I mean, it matches up absolutely perfect. So I took the smaller piece here and I butted it up, and it is absolutely the same thickness. So that way it'll look nice and straight when I get this all done. And so what I'm going to do now is I've got this cut out pretty roughly about where I need it to be. So I'm going to set it up here. Since this is my straight edge across the bottom, I'm going to staple that in a couple spots just to hold it up, and then I'm going to mark the top, because it's, as you can see, it's not even close to being straight. It's got a nice little curve down, and then a curve here, and then it's rounded, and then it's rounded over here. So I'm going to take my pencil and draw that out, and then I'll pop the staples out, I'll cut it out. So I had to fix a couple of pieces of the insulation. Anyhow, so got that replaced. That was a lot of fun. So I had this that I donated off the wall, and unfortunately this shit's too thick, so I had to literally cut this in half. Hence the styrofoam mess everywhere. But anyhow, I got it cut out. It looks nice. And I've got my template piece cut out here. Got that all cut out. I just got to do a little bit of modification to the there, but it fits really nice. And so I think the next thing I'll do once I get that, I'm going to fit it one more time. I'll get my 2 holes drilled out here for the light and the electrical. And I think we'll glue this thing on, staple her together, and call her happy. Alright, well, 1 tube of liquid nails later, and about a clip of fucking nails or staples. And she's on there. Not too bad. Holes line up for the light and everything. Sweet. Alright, so the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fold this back, and that way I can mark out the window and then finish stapling this thing in. Alright, so I got all the silicone on there. It's time to get her on there and get her glued up. Alright, I got her all glued on. Got her all stapled in there around the edges. That looks 100% better than it did when it came in. Sweet. So I guess the next thing I need to tackle is getting the windows put back in. And I got a big old roll of butyl tape here. And I think I'll do that because I need another. Unfortunately, I used up all of my marine gray silicone on that little area. And I'm going to need another probably tube to do the front. Anyhow, that's the stuff that I used. It's good for vinyl and wood and just about anything else. But I figured marine gray to be the way to go from the research that I've done. Alright, now that we got that side piece done, next thing I want to do is get the windows put back in. So I got this all cleaned up. Got all the butyl tape and bullshit off of there. Same thing with this. Got it all nice and cleaned up. Well, not clean. It's still dirty, but it cleaned up as far as the sealing surface goes. And so the next step is to, I got these window frames cleaned out the best I could. And so we're gonna take some butyl tape. I just got a regular old, pretty much it's all the same. I'm gonna take butyl tape and line this all the way around. And then when I tighten it up in the window, it's gonna squish this out and seal that window up like new. I got her all installed. I got a nice squish on it when I got it all bolted in. And then I just went through with the scraper and just cleaned it all up. Looks fantastic. Well, the next thing I need to do is get this one done. And then we'll move on to the roof. And I'm gonna staple the roof back together and get this gutter back on, and then I'll move my way to the front. And so the day after, this really turned out nice. It doesn't have any waves in it at all. It looks freaking fantastic. Awesome. All right, we got this thing all butyled up real good. Jeez. You know, so now I just got to pop it in the old camper there and tidying it up. I got the glass in, or the window in, sorry, and got a nice pooch of butyl all the way around it. So I know that son of a bitch isn't gonna leak, because the seal on this thing just is not sealing anymore. So the butyl tape, that definitely is going to be good to go. Shouldn't have any problems at all.